Hi everyone, welcome back to another painting session. In my last two videos, I asked you what color moods you wanted to see in these studies, and you sent me so many ideas. I loved it. And two of the ideas kept coming back again and again, and that was an water scene or a sunset. So I thought, let me start with the sunset. A soft warm glow with foliage layered on top, basically a see-through sunset moment. So that's what we're making today. And for this layer, I wanted something dreamy and soft. I started by blending the hazy sunset right into the center. Kept my brush really light and soft here because the whole point of this background is that it needs to glow. This is the only time in this entire painting where I can be as messy and blurry as I want. No details, just atmosphere. If the center feels like a warm memory you cannot quite describe, yeah, we're on the right track. And I think I was on the right track right here. Once the background dried, time for layer 2. This is where I pick up my Jenkins green and sap green, both by Golden. I always add water to these paints, by the way, so they glide instead of drag. And that's the only way you can layer this many brushstrokes without getting any texture. So in this layer, I'm placing the first full set of leaves. They're the darkest leaves yet. Not in this study series, but for this painting. They're definitely in the deep zone. These shapes, they tell me where the movement of the whole painting will go. They set the stage for the whole composition. And like I said, I want this sunset to be see-through. So I'm intentionally not placing brushstrokes in the center there. Keeping the strokes loose, light, diagonal, curved, everywhere. Looks chaotic, it is supposed to look chaotic. If it doesn't look chaotic, then something is wrong. Time for layer 3, and this starts shifting the whole mood. I'm taking the same mixture of my previous layer of Jenkins green and sap green, but now I'm mixing it with some titanium white. Not too much, just enough to lift the color so it becomes more of this mid-tone. And these leaves, they will sit on top of the dark layer, but they cannot overpower it. They need to stay in the middle ground. This is the stage where I usually think, do I even like this? Because this layer connects the dark and the light and all the colors start mixing with each other. It looks messy for a while. But the green and the pinkish glow underneath, the dark strokes from earlier, everything overlaps, and that's completely normal. This is the layer that builds the transition. If you skip this layer, if you're creating paintings like this, the final painting will look flat. The third layer was dry, and so now let's go into layer number 4. And this is where things get much brighter. I'm mixing Jenkins green with some cadmium yellow and some titanium white. This creates such a fresh green, like a leaf that just woke up after a full night of good sleep. These strokes, they need to be placed more intentionally, not everywhere, just in spots where this painting needs life, where it needs rhythm. I always move, by the way, around the canvas a lot. If I stay in one area too long, my brain suddenly starts thinking everything needs highlights, which is never true. So I force myself to keep dancing around this painting. And aha, we arrive at layer 5. This is the final layer, so I'm using less layers than in my previous 2 studies. But this is the layer that makes everything click. For this one, I'm using the same Jenkins green, cadmium yellow and titanium white, but I'm also adding touches of teal, and later at the end I will even incorporate a few strokes mixed with some vivid lime green, so the painting gets that final radiant pop. These are the final strokes, so they need to be crisp and confident, and if these strokes are shy, they will disappear. But if they're too bold, they will scream. So again, I place them only where I want the painting to have them, where the painting actually needs them, not where my impatient hand wants to go wild. And this is my favorite part, when the highlights start pulling this whole piece together. Suddenly the chaos starts to look like intentional movement. The warm glow in the center starts to feel like actually light, like an actual sunset, like something we can see through. And the green, it starts acting like real leaves. And just like that, the sunset study is finished. It feels soft and warm, calm, even though it's full of movement. It's a bit more subtle than my previous paintings, and I love how that pink and orange glow peeks through all the greens. Something peaceful, something full of life. Let me know what color, mood, or atmosphere you want to see next. I already have underwater on my list. Thank you so much for watching and for all your ideas and support. I love it. I will see you again next Saturday.